What is up, guys? Thank you so much for clicking on this video, and I just bought another project car. This is my 5th project car I have at this exact moment, except this project car is a little bit different. My friend Kooky Mark has had this car in the back of his shop for a few years. He stripped everything down in order to paint it and then got sidetracked and kind of gave up on it, and he was begging me for like a week and a half straight to buy it from him. This is a 1990 Nissan 240SX. And like I said before, it has been sitting in my buddy's shop for a while, completely stripped down. He was about to paint it, which is why there's bondo and primer and everything weird on it, and it had the windows removed. So the inside of the car is just covered in bondo, paint dust, everything like that, hence the paint drip right here. Dash, absolutely horrible condition. Luckily, he put a better front end back on because it had all the front end removed, and then he like sold it or something, so he put a new front end on it for me, as well as tail lights and a rear bumper because he didn't have those on either. So what makes this project a little bit different than the rest of my other projects is that this isn't only my car. I really didn't want to take this project on alone because I was just going to have it sit. Mark was okay with me buying it from him and just having it sit, but I wasn't going to touch it for a while. But Sam was bored. He wanted to work on it. And then Lena, my girlfriend, also wanted to do something to it too. So we all went in on thirds. We each bought into the car. We only bought the 240 for $1,200. So we each paid $400 to buy the car. And now we're going to split parts and spend money and time on it rationally. I don't really know how this is going to work. Buying a project car with multiple people can get kind of upset, but I'm dating my girlfriend and Sam and I have the same taste in cars, so I'm hoping we can kind of mediate it and hopefully nothing goes wrong with it. But we have a whole list made up of everything we're going to do to it. So now that I got this area all nice and clean, it's way more organized for us to work on it. But here is the list of everything. These are what we're gonna have to figure out. Don't mind Sam's horrible illiteracy. These are all the stuff we're gonna have to figure out together. This is what we got to do before we paint it. We're trying to figure out what color. These are all the stuff we know we have to buy. That is completely butchered. We have to buy some stuff to it, and we're gonna keep track of how much money we've spent because there was bondo laid on here and it was never touched again. We got all these edges with bondo on it still. The roof had a skim coat put on it. The doors were already primered and somewhat guide coated, but now with this new front end we got quite a bit of clear coat fading and whatnot. So we're gonna try to paint this car up and get it looking like a clean shell before we do anything else to it. And hopefully this is all of the interior for the car, because it's one thing to buy a car and tear it apart, but it's another thing to buy a car torn apart that you have never worked on before to know how to put it back together correctly. And lastly, if we open the hood, we can see he already painted the engine bay a few years ago, so this looks really good, but there is no engine, no trans, hardly anything in here. So we have to decide what engine transmission combo we're going to put in this car, but we got 3 different people buying in, so that probably means we can spend our money and do something pretty gnarly with this car. So Mark gave us a 5-lug conversion to get rid of that ugly 4-lug. So the fronts are extremely easy. All you got to do, slide the hub on, put this little washer in, align it, put the nut on, down, and now she's 5-lug. Then if we come to the back, you remove 4 14mm bolts, and then the hub gets seized on, so you get a hammer. So my camera died and we pulled the rear subframe out to clean it and put in different bushings, but I used a sacrificial bolt, hammered out one of the studs, and then tightened the bolt through the stud hole to where it pressed up against the knuckle and popped the rear hub off so I can get the new 5-lug rear hub on. And then I went ahead and sanded the entire car down, not the front of it yet, just all the parts that Bondo was placed on by Mark to get it all nice and smooth. And then that exposed a lot of bare metal, and I'm not sure when we're going to be able to primer it. So I picked up some cheap self-etching primer and primered all the edges that show bare metal. So now the car is all nice and smooth, and now we need to figure out body kit, fender, hood situation, and all that to get those sanded and primed and ready for paint. But we went ahead and took the rear subframe out to clean it up, potentially paint it, get it looking nice, swap out the bushings for solid bushings from GK Tech. Barely getting these guys out. We're struggling, but while he's doing that, I got up under the car. Mark had cut the factory fuel lines because he was going to do AN lines, so we went ahead and fully removed that so we can do our own AN lines. Metallic silver spray paint for the subframe. We got our GK Tech solid bushings that are currently in the freezer right now. So we're going to clean up the subframe, spray paint it, make it look better. And now Sam has clears on his Tacoma. The lighting is not picking up. We got rays, clears, little Puerto Rican Tacoma boy. Random break in the middle of the video, but we found a body kit on Facebook Marketplace, so we are currently on the way to go purchase the body kit. That way we can have the body ready to be primed and painted. There is the body kit. From one broken 240 to another broken 240. Well, despite the guy only being 36 miles away, it took almost 3 hours to get to his house and back with the body kit due to the amazing Houston traffic that we had to deal with literally the entire drive. But now we can bring the body kit to its new home, which is the clapped out 240. Hell yeah, brother. There we go. Now the bumper is off. Do a one-handed test fit. Baller. Shot collar. And my drink. My Diet Dr. Cow. Wow, that thing is ugly. Why is it so flat? Slid out of my foot. Hell yeah. This is an actual open diff R200 because the diff on my R200 on the Impreza was a VLSD, so it was kind of difficult to weld together, but this one, the gears are right out in the open, right where they need to be. Oh, you we put the trash can there and he drains it on the table. Is it clean enough? Oh, burn, baby, burn. How are we gonna put this out? How are we gonna put this fire out? When we turn it, they turn at the same time. We just gotta clean out all the slag in there, but so Granny helped us get the bumper fit on. All we had to do was use the heat gun, and it surprisingly sucked it all the way in. So if it wasn't for Granny giving us...
Huh?
Huh?
What are you doing?
After getting all the body kit panels heated up and warped to fit, it ended up making quite a few crinkles in the body kit where the fiberglass wrinkled up. So after sanding them flat, we can see that it kind of made it transparent. So I went through and added a couple layers of fiberglass all around the body kits and on some of the edges where it cracked, so I reinforced everything. We interrupt our 240SX restoration video for something very rare in Houston, Texas, which is snow. Now, to some of you northerners, this might be very common, but in Houston, it has not snowed this perfectly in several decades. So this is a big deal for anyone in Houston, and we can see how all the cars are looking. Just look at my driveway. This is some thick snow. Lena's MR2 has had to be parked outside, and then we just picked up an Acura Type S, which has an identical swap, a K20A2 and 6-speed, that is getting swapped into her MR2. So she went ahead and bought this to daily while the MR2 is down. So as soon as we finish the 240 for now, we're gonna push it out, pull her car in, she's gonna daily that and turn her MR2 into a mid-engine RSX essentially. If we go over here, we can see the Drift Mustang all nice and covered, and the Subaru Baja Blast all nice and covered. Look at those flurries coming off of the roof right there. This is absolutely crazy to see this type of snow right now. And this is like thick. This is like 3 inches of snow. Absolutely wild. Perfect car to drive in the snow with. It's warmed up barely, so a lot of the snow is starting to melt, but it is still very white out here. And now we have transformed the shop into a paint booth, and I went ahead and picked up the base coat and clear coat to hopefully get this thing painted this weekend. And here is a sample. This is the original paint, and then we went ahead and had them add a little bit more metallic to it. So we are going with, let me get it in the light. Can't tell if it's focused, but this is the paint. And then I picked up this gold mini flake that we're going to only put in the first coat of clear coat. I did not want to have to buy an inner coat or anything, so we're going to mix just this in the first coat of clear coat when we spray everything, just to get a nice little separation from the little bit of silver metallic and dark green to make it pop ever so slightly. And the color is a factory GM color, medium green pearl. So it's kind of funny because we planned on LS swapping this, so we're going to have a GM paint job on a potentially GM ran car. Finally primering. First time Sam has used a spray gun, starting on the under part of the hood. And yeah, we took the doors and hatch off, just because we're like, fuck it. So here's the setup, got the mirrors down there, got everything going on. Finally done with the epoxy sealer, and so now it's time to spray the base. So we're gonna let this sit for about 10 to 15 minutes before finally spraying the base, and go over it with a tack cloth once it finished flashing, because there may be a little bit of nibs in it, but it's the jam, so it's not super important. Just got done tack clothing the sealer. So now it's time to apply the base, so we can finally see it in all its glory and see what the paint looks like on the car. The base is a 1-to-1 mixture, so 1 part base, 1 part reducer. So this makes a lot of paint. So we're gonna let the paint flash over for a little bit, and then do the first coat of clear with a little bit of gold flake in it. So we got the clear coat 4-to-1 reduced, and now we're gonna add the gold flake in the first coat. We're just gonna do a itty bitty bit, just like that. See what that looks. Look at how little that was and how much it looks like it is. That's crazy. And just like that, all 3 coats of clear were put on. The first with a little bit of flake, and then the second 2 really heavy. And now this is the finished product. We literally just finished spraying it, so we gotta let it sit. You can see all the dust, let the dust settle, but everything came out pretty damn good, although it's really hard to show with all the lights being covered up by that. So this is like the best section I can show you. Hell yeah, brother. So we got a majority of the overspray sanded off, and we went ahead and bolted both doors, fenders, and the hatch back on. That way we can spray it in one piece, in one coat all together. That way it is a uniform metallic on it. But now we need to sand the fenders and doors and hatch, because we've only been working on the body itself. So now that everything's attached, we can get a uniform sand. And as you can see, we are cutting through to the bare metal in a few places. So we are gonna 2K high build spray it, and then sealer over that, and then start the whole process over again. So still got some work ahead of us. Lena is out here sanding the body kit to get it all ready to. Once all this black guide coat is sanded off, it means it's perfectly smooth. And if it's perfectly smooth, it means it's ready for paint. Cups of the epoxy primer ready to be sprayed. We have the car fully prepped, got as much water on the floor, water on everything to prevent as much dust, got it all wiped down, and now the man himself is going to show us how it's done. So it took us about 27 minutes to spray the car. It's not bad. All right, let's stop. Let me show you a cheat code.
We were wondering that the first time we tried to
Yeah,
pour
that's
it.
fine. All right, get a rag and I'll get it.
Hey, right here.
All right, yeah. I should have told you guys this. That's okay. Just wipe off the whole can. Yeah. All right. You see what I'm saying? It's stupid. It's very stupid. You see how I'm doing it? Pick it up, drop it. Pick it up, drop it. Pick
What?
It up, drop it. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I know, yeah.
How long does that take?
Not that long.
Really?
You would think it, but no, not that long.
What?
But like, you only want to do this until it's like, until the paint's to right here.
Yeah, and then you can pour.
Start pouring it.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's left.
Look at me, I'm fucking doing
Oh shit! You see this? You describe you got sand in the car. So that's why wet sanding's better.
We got the final coats put on the 240, mainly done by Mark. He was supposed to just show us, but he's like, fuck it, I haven't painted a car in a while. I'll go ahead and do the whole thing. So
Sam and I probably did 20% of the painting, and Mark did the rest from the last coats of base, and he did the whole clear. He did the flake and the clear. So now we're gonna let the car dry a little bit before messing with it anymore. And then we still have the entire body kit to sand. You said we sealer this too, or no? So we are gonna sealer.
Well, whenever you paint it, you're gonna spray the black, which is the sealer.
Yeah. Oh, I don't. We're gonna see it out in the sun for the first time. Here comes the sun. Doo -doo -doo -doo. Here comes the sun. I don't know. I can't pick it up good on camera. It's like the angle. Here you go. There you go, boy. There you go. The body kit has been set in place to kind of visualize it. It's not bolted down. We're kind of scared to fully put it on, but I just got my Max Speeding Rods coilovers for this thing. Shout out to Max Speeding Rods. They actually sent me these for free. They are not the cheapest coilover they sell, but a slightly better one. The same one I actually have on my Mustang that I actually really enjoy. So I don't know when we're gonna put these on, but we can definitely fix this gap. Look at that gap. That is a huge wheel gap, and it looks so ugly, especially with this body kit. So this will change it a lot. So if we open the box up, they sent us this really fancy, it's like an emblem. It's not like a sticker, it's like an actual emblem. That's pretty sick. And then we can see their baby blue with adjustable dampening. This adjustable dampening right here is what makes cheap coilovers really good. Cheap coilovers are always super stiff, so the cheaper Max Speeding Rods coilovers ride really rough. But with the adjustable dampening, you turn them all the way soft and they ride significantly better. So that is what saves these coilovers and why I like them so much on my V6 Drift Mustang. First look, body kit loosely fit on, pushed out in the sun now. Monster truck fitment looks even worse with the body kit on. This car needs to go down about 7 inches to look somewhat good, but you can see the front bumper sagging a little bit, but she's minty. It is now the next day, and it just so happens to be like 35 degrees out, but we can have her push out with all the glass attached, which makes it look way more better. We have finally got to the point of the build where we can park it and not have to worry about it for a while, because I have a lot of other stuff that needs to be worked on. So we just got the car cover in. We're gonna find a good spot in the backyard, tuck her away for a while, and then I can finally end this video, which I assume is not gonna be short whatsoever. Yo, the alignment is so bad that it makes the car like bounce. It's the fastest this 240's rolled in a minute. Here is the 240's resting place for a while. underneath the tree. Hopefully no branches fall on it. But it's in the nice graveyard with Sam's F100 and my Silverado over there. So hopefully she looks this good when we take the car cover off. And just like that, that's how she sits. This car cover actually feels pretty thick, so hopefully it does its job to protect it. And we got it strapped front, middle, and back so it doesn't fly off or anything, but we will do periodic checks on it to make sure there's no rats or homeless people living in it. And just like that, guys, that is gonna go ahead and complete this first video of the 240. Will it ever come back? I don't know. Is this thing ever gonna run? I don't know. Are we gonna sell it as a clean shell? I don't know. So I don't know if I'd get too attached to this build or not, but we wanted to fully paint this thing and get it looking nice. So hopefully y'all enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Follow my Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, everything under that username right there. And motherfucking